dear audience, hope you would be fine. In this short video, we would be discussing about what post-colonial criticism rejects. Actually, this interesting question was asked by one of my students, and his concern was that post-colonial criticism basically rejects some westernized, standardized models of criticism and even all the binaries and order which is claimed by the uh, westernized criticism, western culture, all that. He was of the view that post-colonial criticism basically rejects all sort of the orders and yeah, like this. So it is interesting for the readers of the post-colonial. Therefore, I am going to recount my reflections that what is my understanding or how the post-colonial criticism is different from other criticisms. And I consider it that I should have to answer a question as well. A misunderstanding, a problem with the post-colonial criticism itself is that, and that is the of finance who wrote the book The Rest of the Earth. Definitely, anything proclaimed by the Western civilization as universalized, universal model is rejected by post colonial criticism. For example, if it is the westernized feminism, so all the westernized feminist claims are rejected by post colonial criticism, and all the claims of the westernized society as a universal model of economy are rejected from the post-colonial Marxist critiques, and any uh, model of sufferings of our psychoanalysis which might be only the westernized center West might be the focusing on the Western society only. R is of the claim that it is a universal model and is proposed by the Western world that is rejected by post-colonial critics. So, uh, Fanon basically has proposed that there are two steps. Uh, the first step is that the colonized people should have to identify their own past once when they are in the post-colonial space, post-colonial interaction of the world. Then the first thing they have to do if they want to be revolutionary, that is that they should reconcile their past, they should focus on their past, they should identify their voice through the steps of their own past. They should glorify basically their own past, and only then their revolution or their identity is possible in this post-colonial space. But interestingly, which the inherent problem which Fanon has recognized is that the European colonizing power consciously erase and devalues the national and the nations of the past of the colonized people. For example, Africans, Indians, they have been the colonies, and definitely we have an interesting and glorious past as well. But we are bound to claim that the West is the best. We are unaware of our own values of our national culture. We are unaware of the uh, uh, cultural values, historical values, social values, and many more like that. So, constantly colonizing power or the colonized, they devalue, they erase the national culture. That's basically the strategy of colonization. Means they create a sense of devalue with our national culture, and even they considers that means, for example, our Pre-colonial period has been of no civilization, means the Muslim before colonization, before the colonial period, might have been represented as a savage, as a untruthful, emotional, barbaric, like that. Similarly, the colonizer represent even one thing, as my audience are from across the world, and most probably they are from Africa, Ghana, South Africa, Morocco as well. Uh, but I have found these people very intelligent. I have found these people very hardworking. But how the post-colonial, sorry, colonizing agenda, colonizers' agenda would be representing as the people from the Arabia, people from the India, people from the Africa as the not intelligent, savage, dull like that, lazy. So basically, they create a, some sort of our historical vibe, and this is the problem with the post-colonial criticism. That post-colonial criticism cannot, the world in which we are living, the agenda, the power of representation of the Western world is so powerful that we cannot grab our past and our national history and our national values of the past, and ultimately we cannot react uh, against the colonial strategies of representation. So this is the point from the where the West take the advantage. West consciously erase the history of the colonized. West consciously creates a historical void. White consciously teach their own white children and the black children what they teach, only that the black are the superior, white are the superior, black is the sorry white is the universal model, white is the superior, white is light, white is god, white is progressive, white is rational, and the black is irrational, black is the devil, black is the barbaric, black is the savage, whatsoever. What might abuse you can attach with the colonized. So the son of a white man who is studying his own superiority and the inferiority of the blacks and the Indians, and what is studying the black child is also studying the same thing, that white are the superior and blacks are the inferior. So this confusion, historical confusion, cultural confusion has been propagated by the Europeans. By the Europeans means those who consider the West as the center of civilization, West as the center of knowledge, West as the center of privileged cultures. So it is the duty of the post-colonial criticism to create, not only to make a criticism of the Western criticism, not only to make a criticism of the Western agenda of representation, it is the duty of the post-colonial writers to create a sense of value with their own national culture, national politics, national some sort of identity. So only then they would be not be feeling sense of ashamed with their own identity. Otherwise, the West creates a sense of guilt and shame with our national identity. So that's the proper agenda of the post-colonial criticism. And yes, I do agree with the question that post-colonial criticism rejects a lot of universalized, westernized models of human understanding, and they try to create a space of the local culture, indigenous ideologies, all that like this. So, post colonial criticism is basically a counter narrative of the Western colonizers' agenda and their politics of representation. It counters their politics of representation. I always agree with this point that the person who holds the power, he holds the power of representation. Currently, as West is more powerful, more hegemonic, more economically advanced in the countries, they are occupying the word of economy, the word of politics, and the word of representation as well. So it is the duty of the post-colonial writers to create their own lens, to create their own sense of value and identity as well. With this, goodbye. Thank you.